are off. Flying through the hallway like a disco moth. Hitching to the couch, then I loop through the fan. My tiny whoop's grooving like a funky jam. I dip through the doorway, spin by the cat, bounce off the toaster, yeah, I meant to do that. Neighbors knocking, saying, what's that sound? It's my brush motor soul train getting down. Flying through curtain, dancing on breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic, bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop it all. I got LED strobes and a shag rug trail. I'm looping through the lava lamp, leaving a tail. My whoop's got rhythm, my stick's got soul. I'm the pilot of the party. On a roll, TV remote's a gate, the lamps a dive. I'm flying like it's 7.5. No GPS, no rules, no shame. Just a funky little quad in a soul train frame. Move it low, we fly that flow. Thread that gap, no time to nap. No time to nap. Hit that roll, funk and control. Bounce that wall, we fly it all. We fly it all. Tiny whoop love, funky and free. We fly indoors, we fly with glee. Whoop it, loop it, groove it, move it, bounce it, flip it, funk it, rip it, fly that soul, don't lose control. Tiny whoop love gonna make you whole. I thread the needle through the vinyl stacks, bounce off the mirror ball, never looking back. My quad's got soul, it's got style, it's got sass. It dips through the incense like a blast from the past. I'm flying figure eights through the lava lamp glow, dodging house plants like a funky pro. My whoop's got rhythm, my stick's got heat. I'm the pilot of the party with the grooviest beat. I loop through the hallway, I dive by the broom. I'm the disco ghost in your living room. I hit that split that's over grandma's chair. She just claps and says, boy, you got flair. I'm flying freestyle with a velvet touch. My quad so smooth it don't need a clutch. From the shag rug to the ceiling fan, I'm the funky little fly with a master plan. The curtains dancing on the breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop at all. Can't stop at all. Can't stop at all.
Greetings, cretins. My name's Aaron Ciotti.
I'm the other Ciotti.
Welcome to Whoop Wednesday.
Where's the script? What are we looking at?
It's small. Here.
You got it hidden. There it is. Okay, now I can see.
That was the Avata-killer, by the way. My dad's here.
He is? I have a beef to pick with you,
Oh, no.
son.
Save this for
Online.
now.
You're damn right.
What is it?
Remember when we lived in New Jersey
Yeah.
and you found a triple black 96 Mustang Cobra that
Yeah.
you loved and you had to buy?
Yeah.
But because of insurance, we put it under my name and we saved a significant percentage of the gross national product on insurance.
Did we forget to take it out?
No. Then when you moved to South Carolina, we went to the Department of Motor Vehicles, whatever the hell it's called in South Carolina.
Vaguely.
And I sold you the car
Yeah.
for $1.
Yeah.
You owe me $1.
Oh. This is worth $1.
Okay. Now we're square.
Done. What's up, friends? We're going to look at RSSI, RSNR, and LQ today. I'm just completely stealing an idea from Joshua Bardwell on his live stream last Monday, I think. I'm putting this in the chat right now. He talked about this, and I've been meaning to screw around with SNR for a while now. And so it's a perfect time. I'm sure an awful lot of people like me haven't bothered to dive into it and just use RSSI. Maybe some of you use LQ. LQ, like, using LQ is kind of the best anyway. But signal to noise ratio is really important, and I haven't really screwed around with it. So let's play with it. Let's basically what I'm going to do is I've got this ELRS module set to 25 milliwatts, as low as it'll go. 500 hertz packet rate, as high as it'll probably go to 1,000, but I don't think the whoops will work on 1,000. So 500 is going to be the highest that the whoops are going to run with. That's gonna give this the hardest time possible, basically. And then we're gonna fly all the way upstairs into the bathroom. If that still doesn't fail-safe it, I'm gonna take the antenna off, and I'm pretty sure that that'll get it to fail-safe. And I just want to see what the RSSI, when it fail-safes, where's the RSSI at, where's the RSNR at, and where's the LQ at? Because that's, that's the best way to kind of test it, right? Like, and we should kind of do that with all of our builds. And so, yeah, let's mess around with that. Let's see how those numbers kind of move around and in a real world kind of scenario. Tiny whoops inside of a house, you don't usually have to worry about them fail-safing, but it's a really good way to kind of test that out. Cool. In the chat, FizzPV was first. Skittybots, FPV, Green Thumb FPV, Rene Toner, P-Money, License to Drive, Uplift, Kevin Sumner, Nardo Polo, FPV, License to Drive, El Chingon, Moto N FPV, Uplift, Uriel, Render, Fizz, Moto, Whoop Fox, Jamie Flies FPV, Uriel, Bernard Fox, Fizz again, Jamie again, Kevin again, Uriel again, FPV, DNS Jules, Render, Uplift again, Fizz again, License to Drive, Frank Nicholas, Moto again, Bernard again. I think I got everybody. Jimmy the Cow? Not quite. Jimmy the Cow with his water slide comment. Jimmy, I moved them. They're right here. I moved them a little bit closer to myself. A little bit closer. So yeah, in the chat, I dropped the link to Joshua's video. Watch that for sure. It's 9 minutes, 6 minutes. Joshua used to be a RF engineer, RF tester. He would go into businesses and make sure that their Wi-Fi was strong in like all over the building. And
That's
so
IT.
And so he knows his stuff way better than me. I test stuff like live and we talk about it and see what works in the real world. Joshua gives you actual info that you can actually learn from. RF designer, that's it. Good call, Kevin. Yeah, RF designer. And so, yeah, if I know a lot of you guys are kind of like me and you sort of learn by doing. And so that's what we're going to do. Cool? Sound like fun? Hopefully. Hey, does anybody have use for this? This is an old Beta FPV build. It's a 2 to 4S AIO with plugs. It's ready for a receiver. It's got a VTX up on top here. And this is a Insta360 Go or Caddx Peanut holder that holds the little camera, the FPV camera on the front here, that Beta FPV made for me. I've had this forever. I'm not going to use it. It has Beta FPV 1105 5000 kV motors on it. It's 2-inch. It's got the brace in the bottom. If you have any interest in this whatsoever, I'll also give you the piece up here that holds a naked GoPro. It's wired for a decased GoPro. If you have any interest in this whatsoever, let me know. We're gonna be doing the testing with a Ultimate Freestyle Tiny Whoop, so a little 2G4. Yeah, this is a Q&A live stream as well. Ask me questions, ask him questions, and we'll have some fun tonight. Speaking of questions, what do you guys got in the chat? If you're gonna ask a question in the chat, make sure you type at CiottiFPV. No spaces in there, no comma afterwards, and if you do it correctly, it'll light up an orange. You can do that for each other. If you want to get Uplift FPV's attention, in your chat comment, type at Uplift FPV. You got to spell it right. I actually looked up on Google, why on earth did YouTube change the names to ats? And apparently it's a security thing. They did it so that it makes it harder to impersonate each other. I think they just wanted to make it worse. Hold on, let me switch the chat screens out here. I had to restart the computer last second, and I ended up with 2 chat windows. All right, all better. Jamie Flies FPV says, "Oh, hi, CiottiFPV and friends."
I ain't a friend.
Jamie also says, "Hi, Dad." Where are we at? Jimmy the Cow says, "With those nerd goggles on, you can finally apply the water slide stickers." Indeed. Look how it's actually, you're actually not wrong. Some of these are infinitely small, like absurdly small. We'll get to it. We'll get to it, Jimmy. I promise. I promise. It's just so hard to justify putting these on because I know that I'm going to destroy them. But yeah,
They're small.
We will mess with these, I know, right?
Put them on your car.
Yeah. You remember these from model car kits?
Oh my God. Nothing this
Way back
small.
when? Yeah,
Nothing
for
this
sure.
small.
But still, I remember these being, just the water slide stickers in general, being a complete pain in the ass. I remember, like,
Why are they called
being
water slide stickers?
because you got to get them wet. And then you slide them off the backing.
Oh, that I remember
those
doing
stupid-ass
that. I
things?
remember
Yeah.
doing that. Yeah. That's what dissolved the glue. That's what held them on to the plastic.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So, yeah.
I was never much of a model maker.
I did a couple of them. I did that USA 1 monster truck,
Yeah.
and then I did
You had a couple monster trucks.
Castrol GTX Top Fuel Dragster. No. Wait, yeah, what were the big long ones? Were they Top Fuel?
Top Fuel.
Yeah, Top Fuel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. Top Fuel funny car.
Well, the funny cars were
They had the bodies.
right, and it was the same
thing.
motor, but
Yeah.
a much shorter chassis and the body on it.
Yep. Moto N says mad props to pops. That's hard to say out loud. Denzel the Cerebral says, "Hey friend, hello friend, CiottiFPV and Binary Bear." Denzel remembers. Kevin got that.
That's backwards.
YouTube just did the thing. What is?
This screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm on the wrong side all the time.
Yeah, it's otherwise stuff
Yeah.
would be like revert, like in our
Yes.
phone, it
Yes.
reverses everything for
Yes.
us. But then it's weird. You get
It's
used.
weird.
I've gotten used to it after a while.
You will get used to it. The problem is if you use Photoshop, Photo Booth
right
on
it
the Mac,
reverses it on purpose.
Yeah, it's so
Or by
that you
default,
don't
rather.
do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
What I did.
FizzPV says, "Absolutely, I will mess with it." What's that? How am I lost already, Fizz? What are you messing with? Nardo Polo says, "That old thing would be fun for my 4-H class. Have a mix of loaner gear for
Is he
messing
talking
around
about
with."
me?
You
talking to
Oh,
me?
this.
Oh.
That took me a minute.
The other old thing.
Yeah. Kevin Sumner says, "Did you see that ELRS 4.0 RC1 came out over the weekend?" I did. There's not anything super insane, is there? ELRS 4.0. What you guys tell me? What's the big interesting thing in ELRS 4? I expanded packet rates. I don't know. I mean, I'm still happy with 250 hertz. Anything above 250 in the range goes to hell. Hey, can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Can you grab all those props out of the top of that flight bag?
Yes.
I got more 7-inch props because
These aren't.
I'm addicted to propellers. I had to get some receivers, and CiottiFPV had them in, and then CiottiFPV had a bunch of 7-inch props that I didn't have. So I couldn't stop myself. These are the ones that I'm super excited about. These are HQ 7x5. Wait. Oh my God, they're 7x5.5.
You want this thing too?
I hope that these are well balanced. Oh yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I hope to hell that these are well balanced, because this is a bi-blade with all the pitch in the world, and that could be amazing. That is, I don't know if I've ever seen pitch that steep before. That's absolutely insane. It's really hard for you guys to see it, but yeah, these are the ones that I'm super excited about. But while I was there, I just basically got one of every that they've got. On this giant glide are the Gemfan 7050 Hurricanes in this really cool green color. I don't think these motors are quite big enough for any of these tri-blades, but I'm trying them anyway. And I don't really want the tri-blades. The whole point of this thing is to be as efficient as possible. But I will run these to see how they are, to see how efficient they are. And it looks way more impressive with tri-blades than bi-blades. So yeah, I threw those on there. I also got the Street League, which props, which are 7043 in the fun pink color. And then in this next round of testing, I am going to test these 6-inch tri-blades. These are the Jason Van Ellis 6032. I didn't even test these previously. I'll probably skip testing these again this time, to be honest, because 32 is fairly low pitch. Like those motors are probably going to be way too big for these. These would probably be good. These would probably be good on the motors that I took off of that rig, which are the FPV cycle 2507, 2506 and a half, the big FPV cycle motors. They would probably work well with these. But yeah, I might try these. Probably not though. And then I also got these, which are HQ 7x4.5. If these 5.5s are out of balance, hopefully these are balanced. But yeah, I have a good range of the 7-inch props now. I think there's only like 2 that I don't have. One of them is sold on a weird website, and it's like a Cine. It's like an HQ Cine prop, 7042. It's another tri-blade, so I kind of don't care all that much, but still, might as well get it. Spend $30 whole and you can get like every prop that exists in 7-inch or 6-inch or 3-inch, or you know what I mean. And then swapping between propellers is like really, really, really good way to change the way that a rig flies. Also to see if you can tell the difference. If you can't tell the difference between one prop and another prop, that's fine. Just understand that, keep flying. Like, eventually you'll be able to tell. It's also a good chance to fight against the placebo, which there is a lot of. So, You Can FPV says, do you ever have fitment issues with the 2G4 and LiteAF frame, and it's gray, not orange? What's gray, not orange? For you guys, does it light up in gray? Your name, is that what you're talking about? For me, your guys' names light up in orange. My name lights up in orange. Is it gray for you guys?
I think mine did light up in gray. I haven't been on the chat lately, but you kept saying orange and the color changed for us mere mortals.
Fitment issues with the 2G4 and the LiteAF frame. Yeah, I mean, the 2G4 doesn't fit great in any frame, to be really honest. It's because of the camera plug hanging out the side. But once you push it down past the duct, it's fine. You just have to kind of get your fingernail into the duct when you're pushing it down and then pull it out, and then that plug will drop down, and then you're totally fine after that. And like the wires in the plug do kind of push into the duct a little bit, but I've never had an issue. They've all always been like that. Try to put like a little angle in the wires, but yeah, it's always been totally fine. But I think I know what you mean. It's not just the LiteAF frame, it's a lot of frames. License to Drive says, you can include one of my TPU receiver holders with that quad for someone who hasn't got a printer. Yeah, whoever, if you want this and you need anything 3D printed for it, yeah, just let me know. Which TPU receiver holder? Which receiver holder? Oh yeah, you have some of those 25 by 25s. Good call. Yeah, that I don't know if it would clear. It uses motor plugs on the bottom. I don't know if that would clear the motor plugs, but if somebody wants this, let me know. We'll figure out how to get it all kitted out for you. Jimmy the Cow says, where/how is Teddy Spaghetti? Does he have his Christmas sweater on? He does not have his Christmas sweater on.
He was naked.
I mercifully took it off of him halfway through the Christmas party. He's there. Upstairs. There's people upstairs with fingernails that aren't busy. So he's up there. Render says, do you know any setup/settings in Betaflight that would cause throttle to be read as 50% in OSD when all the way down? It wouldn't arm fresh Betaflight flash. The only thing I can think of is AETR versus TAER. But that wouldn't be 50% because, or would it? It might be 50%. It's AETR versus TAER, I think. Check that and tag me again and let me know. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, though. There we go. Render says, sorry, I cut myself off. Fresh Betaflight flash fixed it. It was not a fresh Betaflight flash when I had the issue. Receiver tab looked like normal. 3D was off. Pretty sure it was AETR versus TAER. McBucas says, we called those decals in my day.
That's right.
Decals versus stickers.
That's right. They were decals. Yeah.
Uriel says, my Christmas project, Lego Ecto Car, Ghostbusters with light set. Oh my god, dude, that's going to be cool. If you guys don't know, on eBay, there are people that sell light sets for damn near every single Lego creation that exists. So like light set Lego F40, I still need to do mine, but
you didn't put them in yet?
Not yet, because you got to rip it all apart to do it.
It's only been 5-6 years. There.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, what's the rush?
But yeah, every single Lego kit, somebody makes a light. No, I mean not every, but like most Lego kits. There are light kits by these brilliant people on the internet, and it's just really, really, really cool. I recommend that you do it when you're first building it, because otherwise you're going to have to take it all the goddamn way apart and then put it all the way back together. Hopefully you save the manual. But yeah, really, really, really cool. If you didn't know, Lego kits, light kits for Legos, yo. FizzPV says, the quad you showed. Got it. What did you say, Fizz? Here he comes. Here comes the monster.
Come here. Attaboy.
Here he is.
Attaboy.
Beat him. Dad, beat him.
Your daddy wants me to hurt you.
Beat him.
I don't want to hurt you. I just want to pick you up.
Beat him. He hates it. He hates being picked up.
He does hate it.
Fizz says, absolutely. Oh, okay, got it. Yeah. Whichever one of you guys lets me know first wins. There he is. All right, let's see. Here we go. Okay. Kevin Summer says, it looks like mostly features are non-flight controller builds, like for wings or cars. All right. Kevin says, ELRS 4.0 brings automatic switching for Gemini, so you don't need to pick anymore. It chooses Gemini or not for you. Okay. Well, that matters. I wonder if the Gemini issues, if you can really call them issues. I think I've talked about this before, but just for the sake of quickly revisiting it, because we're kind of talking about it on Radio Master's Instagram here. Where is it? Where is it? They said something that I haven't heard anybody talking about that made it seem like Gemini was acting a little funny. And of course, now I can't find it. Let's try this. Okay, here we go. Now I'll be able to find it. So it's in a post that has a picture of the a bunch of the receivers. And it is this it? Nope, that ain't it. And it basically says that damn it. I don't think it's this far down. I mean, it was from a little while ago. Damn it. It made it sound like Gemini was not working perfectly. And just to use that you're not going to get like the extra range and functionality from Gemini. I wonder if ELRS 4.0 is the solution for that. I wonder if they needed to work with the ELRS devs to totally integrate Gemini to get it to work properly. I wonder if they pulled that post down. Because I'm pretty sure it was just like a picture of the receivers. Does anybody remember that? Does anybody? I'm pretty sure I talked about it before, and I kind of like asked you guys for what your take on it was, because they had like a pretty specific sort of wording that to me meant that Gemini was not working perfectly. I've been using it a bunch. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. So here's what they say, right? Quick update on LR1121. LR1121 is the chip, is the dual band chip, basically. Now available XR123. XR1 I use a lot. XR4 is the full Gemini chip. Fully blah blah blah, performing flawlessly, Express LS firmware, now available on our website, which blah 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 blah. Gemini series update, right? Dual LR1121 based products. GX12, that's that new transmitter. XR4, that's the receiver that I'm using on a bunch of these now. DBR4, that's the other giant receiver. And Nomad are working perfectly in standard modes, but Gemini functionality is currently being refined. Gemini functionality is currently being refined. That says to me it ain't working. But I've been using it, and it seems to work fine. I'm assuming that it's just not working as Gemini. It's just working as standard. These products will be released once full Gemini mode compatibility is confirmed. This is a weird statement here. These products will be released. They've been released. You've been able to get them. This was 6 weeks ago. Did they actually? Oh! It's just for British folks. LBT is London Bridge Trading Company. No, LBT Radio. It's FCC versus LBT. Okay, cool. No worries. I didn't see that they replied to me. So, folks in Great Britain, sucks to be you, but at least you're not here in America. It's good to be you.
Want to trade?
Jesus. Okay, so little bit of coolness in ELRS 4. Not having to manually go in and turn Gemini on, it sounds like. It'll automatically switch. That's pretty slick. But, like, what does that mean? Automatic switching for Gemini so you don't need to pick? It chooses Gemini or not for you? Oh, right. See, I don't deal with that because I use this module for not Gemini and then the Nomad module for Gemini. Um, that is a little bit annoying, yes, but what's not annoying about it is that this module I can just have locked to 250 or 500 hertz for like tiny whoops and non-essential stuff. And then the Nomad module is set to X333, I think it is, whatever the hell the Gemini mode is. Cool. I'm so glad that they replied to me. That's pretty awesome. There we go. So yeah, it sounds like ELRS 4.0. It will on the same module when it sees a Gemini receiver, it'll switch to Gemini. When it doesn't, it won't. That's pretty slick. That doesn't help me, but some of you guys say it's orange. Weird. It'll be purple next week, knowing how YouTube does things. UConFPV says, is there a good AIO with plugs that does fit nice in frames and have decent durability? The 2G4. 2G4 is the one that you want. Mike K says, do you know if GNB 2S720 and 850 will fit the Mobula 8? Just ordered one today and have those batteries from another broken quad. I doubt it. Those are big ass batteries. I don't have any of those. But a lot of times websites will have the measurements. So like, wait, no, well, let's try Pyro. So GNB 2S850, they will usually have, yeah, there you go. 18 millimeters, 18 millimeters, 70 millimeters. So then we compare that to GNB 2S450, which I know does fit. And, oh God, yeah, that ain't gonna fit. 13 by 17. This battery fits really nice, 13 by 17. That 850 being 18 by 18, that's probably going to be way too big. 13 by 17. Let me look up one more. Well, let's just do this. Oops. We'll go. Come on. 2S. And then. Well, wait. Mobula 8 frame. Hold on. I can actually just grab. Nope. One of these. Yeah, no. 18 by 18 ain't gonna fit. I can tell you for sure. Yeah, there's the 18, but yeah, there's like 10. Yeah, no, that 850 won't fit. What's the other one that you said? 720? 2S720. That's probably gonna be the same size if I had to guess. No! Looks like the 720 is gonna it'll be close. 18 by 14.5. So yeah, 14.5 versus, oh, there it was. 13. It'll be close. You could probably smash it in there. I bet you'll be all right. Nyafu says, can I use Happy Model 13,500 kV 1102 motors on an 04 2-inch Mobula 8 build? Yes. Yeah, those will be pretty good. They'll work totally fine. If they're underpowered, you're going to go up to an 1102 or an 1103 or a 1003, but they'll absolutely work. They're not going to like scream. But yeah, they'll absolutely work. They'll get you in the air and they'll be like a Cinewhoop. It'll be like a little Cinewhoop for you. They're not going to shred though. He pre-runs for the toy.
He does.
He gets there ahead of time.
But at least he turns around and looks.
Yeah, that's true. That's new. He's only started doing that like a week ago. Moto N says, "What's your favorite 5-blade prop for a Cinesplore build?" Gemfan D76. It's the one that like everybody runs. It is awesome. I have tested all of the multi-bladed props, and the Gemfan is the best balance of quiet, lots of power. You don't have to have like a motor that's super high kV. Yeah, it just works. Very quiet, very well balanced. They're not super durable, but you're not smashing into stuff all that often with a Cinewhoop. And if you are smashing into stuff, it's, you're doing it. You're not smashing into stuff with a Cinewhoop. But yeah, they're good. They're the ones that you want. For sure. Render says AETR was set correctly. It was the weirdest thing. Throttle was assigned to T and acting correctly in the receiver tab. That's weird, dude. That's really, really weird. Yeah, I have no idea. What's even weirder is that like you reflashed it and it was fine. Mike K says check general Discord. I'm making that for next Christmas. Let's see.
Christmas tree?
We just put one of these together.
That's
nice.
Huge. Is that a real tall tree?
I think that's just
tall?
a...
Or a 6-inch tall?
Yeah, what's going on here? Is this... Oh, sorry. I'm not sharing my screen. Is this... we just built one of these, but this is an odd Photoshop. Are you printing these out giant or something? What's with this odd Photoshop?
Yeah, that's a small tree.
Giant brick Christmas tree. 6x scale model.
Oh, okay. That's a big one.
Shit. Oh, it's 3D prints. Oh my god.
You have to 3D print the Legos?
Oh my god. Starting point. Yeah. Holy shit. So we have the actual Lego version of this upstairs. If you remind me when I'm flying up there, I'll orbit around it. So this is 6 times bigger. That's insane. Jesus Christ.
Boys and their toys.
Oh my god, dude. Oh, here we go. Here we go. There it is. Wow. Okay. A monster project involving 3 weeks of printing across 3 different printers running in parallel, nearly 600 parts in the end, and dozens of rolls of PLA. Holy hell.
Wow.
If you think you know how much work this is, you don't. Not yet, anyway.
Expensive.
Oh my god. Yo, that's wild. In the region of 40 to 50 kilograms of filament. Wow. That's madness. There it is. Jesus. That's insane. Very cool. Moton says, Teddy. Yeah, I'm going to call you Moton from now on. The reason I'm going to call you Moton is Moton is is one of the highest end. They went under, actually. They got bought by AST, I think. AST, Advanced Suspension Technologies. I think they went under too, and then they got bought by somebody else. But Moton used to make some of the best coilover shocks in the business. Uriel says, give him nasty names and ask him to sit with you. Dogs are smart. Nyafu says...
He's talking about me?
I,
I'm sitting here very quietly.
Lord only knows. Nyafu says, watch the stream from the start because I missed it and Will, your dad looks like Santa Claus. LOL. Every year he dresses up as Santa Claus. It's perfect. McBuka says, I think I know the answer, but after a hard crash, my X12 would arm throttle on OSD, but would go up, but motors never spin. It's dead, isn't it? What? After a hard crash, it would arm throttle on OSD, would go up. Mick, are you drunk? X12 would arm, comma, throttle on, comma, OSD would go up, but motors never spin. It's dead, isn't it? I mean, it sounds like it's acting really weird, and if it starts acting really weird after a hard crash, it's probably dead. but you might as well like reflash. Maybe some of the ones and zeros fell out. Maybe you crashed so hard that they went flying out of it.
Doesn't work that way, son.
Well,
I taught you better than that.
Here's what's actually insane. Here's how awful FPV is. There are certain components for tiny whoops that when the voltage gets low enough, things disappear from so that's kind of the ones and zeros falling out as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, reflash it and see if that helps.
That would work.
Kevin Summer says, "What's the date on that post?" 6 weeks ago. LBT, listen before talk. That's right. LBT is listen before talk. LBT is required all over Europe too. Uriel says, "You're welcome over here. You can legally stay in my house for 3 months. I leave to Thailand. Don't tempt me."
But we would never get back into the United States.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
There's a new thing about that Trump is requiring. Never mind. Don't get me started.
5 years of social media history.
That's it.
If you want to move to this country, you have to show 5 years of social media history. Because, if you're going to be fascist, be fascist.
Stop. All right.
Uriel says, "My name is yours, not YouTube." Jamie Flies FPV says, "Tell them not to buy the GNB 850 purple packs. Those sag." There you go. An 850 MAH battery, that's a bit much anyway. That's a bit much, especially for a 2S. Go to 3S. If you need that much jam, go to 3S, friends. Nyafu says, "Hearing you talk about the 7055 biblade reminds me, ever heard of the 7120, as in 7x12? Oh my god, GemFan makes them as well. As well as 5.25 by 8.5 and 6x12. There are some crazy pitchy props from APC. I didn't realize GemFan made... Oh, you didn't say that GemFan makes the 7x12. Who makes the 7x12? APC? 7x12 prop. No. HQ. What? Thin electric prop. What is that? It's a weird name. APC makes a 12x7. They make the opposite of that. Thin electric prop. What in the shit? Here he comes again.
Come here.
There he is.
Come
He
here.
knows he's gonna pick him up.
He
You
does.
get one chance.
It turns around and goes away.
Yep. It won't load that. That propeller is so weird that HQ's website won't even load it. Weird. Whoop Fox says, "Have you looked into the Happy Model X14 AIO? All my X12s, the ELRS died and shopping around. At some point, I will get a Happy Model X14, but I have not been able to kill an X12, and I have like 3 of the X12. So, yeah, at some point, I'll learn more about the X14, but not quite yet. Teddy, be cool. He's traumatic. He's been traumatized. I couldn't think of the word. Moton says, "Thanks, I bought 4 sets of those and a couple GemFan 2925 by 5 because I was unsure." Awesome. Yeah, you got the good ones. Mike K says, "That's 6 feet tall, 35 kilograms filament total." Nyafu says, "I put a 6026 bi-blade on my wing recently, and whenever I hit 55% throttle, it started whistling and screeching like a Stuka on a dive. Could the prop tips be breaking the sound barrier?"
Oh, God.
They could be. One of two things are happening. Either, 6026. 26 is fairly low pitch. Typically, the lower the pitch propeller, the thinner the blade is. So one of two things is happening. Either you are breaking the speed of sound with the tip of the prop, or the blades are deflecting. The blades are probably deflecting. It depends on what KV your motor is, but one of those two things is happening. It kind of doesn't matter which one is happening. You have to change it. Just go to a higher. I know it sounds weird, but just go to a higher pitch. Well, I mean, just try a different prop. Yeah, but you'll probably have to go to a higher pitch propeller. It'll make the blade stiffer, and it'll also slow the motor down because it'll have to do more work. And so if you go to a higher pitch prop and it starts doing it at like 80% throttle instead of 55, then I think you are breaking getting close to the speed of sound with the prop tips. There's a calculator on the internet somewhere. You can put in your the kV, your voltage, and the size of the propeller, and it'll tell you the tip speed. But yeah, Moton says, Moton it is, lol. Mike K says, it's 0 infill, by the way. I saw that. That's insane. Imagine how heavy that would be with even 15%. P-Money says, LOL, I know the company you're speaking about. Oh, no. You're speaking out, losing ones and zeros. Nice. Uriel says, I can only stay in Americanos only 8 months if I can come in. More THC in blood than blood. All right. We are caught up on chat. Let's see how confused I can get with RSSI, LQ, and RSNR.
You want me upstairs?
No. We can just do everything from here.
All right.
So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to put these things into your OSD. I was going to do this before the stream, but then I thought, you know what? Maybe somebody doesn't know how to get this stuff into their OSD. But then when I restarted the computer, I let Betaflight shut off. And so now it's going to take 10 days and nights for that to pop back up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put them like damn near, I'm going to pull them up in the OSD a little bit. I'm tempted to do RSSI DBM as well. But realistically, RSSI DBM, Joshua talks about it in his video. I put the link. You should absolutely watch it. RSSI DBM is mainly for, basically what it tells you is just the raw signal strength. And so it's really valuable for if you think you have a broken antenna, but that's kind of it, because it doesn't factor in like the noise floor at all. LQ and, well, all three of the ones that we're going to look at, LQ, RSSI, and RSNR, they all factor in the noise floor. LQ less than the other two, but yeah, RSSI DBM doesn't factor in the noise floor at all. So in your OSD here, LQ is under L, which is super easy. It's under L for link quality. All right, and then everything else is under R. I was looking for a signal to look. One of the reasons I never added the SNR is because I was always looking for it under S, and I never looked 3 items upwards, which is kind of embarrassing, but whatever. And then there's RSSI DBM as well. So like if you think your antenna is blown up, RSSI DBM is a great way to check that. On the ELRS GitHub, there's a test. Like you put the transmitter and the quad like a given distance away, and you'll see it on there. If you ever suspect you have a bad antenna, go to the ELRS GitHub, and there's a really, really, really nice test. And I think in that test they're going to have you turn this RSSI DBM on, but we're not going to. The other thing about RSSI DBM is that like the measurement scale is absolutely insane. It's like all in negatives, and it like starts at -70 and then goes to like -160. It's absolutely ridiculous. But luckily it's the least valuable of all 4 of these. So we've now got RSNR, which is just basically SNR, signal to noise ratio. And then we've got RSSI. Most of you are used to RSSI. RSSI is like the old school signal strength, which also shows you how nasty the noise floor is. RSSI apparently doesn't work all that well in ELRS, but I've been using it and it seems to work fine, but everybody that knows more than me says LQ and RSNR. So those are the ones that I'm going to start using pretty kind of exclusively. And so on the OSD here, I'm just going to lift these values up. I'm going to leave the RSSI down here. And then I'm going to pull link quality up, because these are really the two that we want to look at here. I'm used to RSSI being here. We're going to see what the RSSI does and how it reacts. But right here on our left is SNR, signal to noise ratio, and then the LQ is here. For the record, the first number in the LQ is just whatever your packet rate is. I think it's 7 is 250 hertz. I have a feeling that now that I'm on 500 hertz, it's going to be a 9. Don't quote me on that. But the first number doesn't mean anything. It's all about this second number. And LQ is really nice because 100 is like full signal strength. And then it's going to start to drop. The weird thing is that 70 is kind of like when all hell breaks loose. If you go below 70, like you're about to fail safe. RSNR, I haven't really played with, so I don't know what the numbers are going to look like. I'm super looking forward to kind of checking that out. So, yeah, that's going to be my OSD setup here. I'm also super interested to see what warnings we're going to get. I'm going to make sure that I have these turned on. So, looks like I didn't. So I'm going to turn on my link quality warning here. I'm also going to turn on my RSNR warning, and I'm going to turn on the RSSI warning. I'm not going to turn on the DBM warning. And so we'll see when those warnings kick on. It looks like you can set the link quality warning here. The default looks like it's 80. That's probably about right. The default RSSI alarm is 30. I'll be interested to see if that trips. I'm really looking forward to seeing the RSNR versus the RSSI. Off Axis says, I was hoping that you long range donkeys would chime in here. Off Axis does a lot of long range stuff, so he inherently knows a lot about these. Off Axis says, RSNR is something I never took the time to understand or use. Oh, thanks CiottiFPV for this.
Paid too much attention to you.
Yeah. Yafu says, just use an online calculator and verified the numbers and 0.98 Mach. LOL. Okay, so I guess you're getting towards the speed of sound. Yeah, that won't. Well, and when you get towards the speed of sound, it'll start to move the prop around. So you're probably doing both. The prop is deflecting, and that's happening. Kevin Sumner, here we go. He says, yes, because ELRS LoRa, really, so Crossfire 2, uses chirps instead of pulses. The signal-to-noise ratio can be crazy low compared to older protocols like below the noise floor. That makes mostly RSSI irrelevant. And then Off Axis says RSNR stands for radio signal-to-noise ratio. Okay, that makes sense. Key metric indicating the clarity of your radio link, showing how strong your signal is compared to the background noise. Higher positive numbers like 4 dB, 10 dB means a healthier, clearer connection, crucial for reliable control, especially with systems like Expressor LS Crossfire, where it helps manage dynamic power. There you go. Kevin, I'm glad that you mentioned Crossfire 2, Crossfire as well. I've been using RSSI with Crossfire, and every single time that I'm about to failsafe, the RSSI gets really low. So, like, for the record, RSSI still does work. It certainly sounds like it doesn't work as well as SNR, and hopefully you guys have been using link quality. Like, most of us have been using link quality for a long time, and it works really, really well. But for the record, RSSI still does work, and I think that we're going to see that tonight. Let's find out. We're going to do a couple 260s first, just to get them out of the way, because they were sitting on the charger. Okay, so I've moved those elements onto the OSD, and we also have our warnings, and so away we go. I need to fix this camera, or this scene rather. I need to turn on, nope, turn on that. Okay, and now of course I need to stand up and unplug it and plug it back in. Hold on 1 second. All right, so we will have VTX in a second, VRX rather, there it is. And so we're going to do all of this up on race 8. I would kind of, I'm tempted to also do this on like race 1. I should have probably switched everything over to race 1. Because that's going to have more Wi-Fi noise. But I don't know what the what the buttons do on the little VRX up there. So if we can't get this thing to failsafe, if we can't get these numbers to come down, even with the antenna off, we'll start screwing around with different channels. But I think we'll be all right here.
Tinfoil.
Oh, really?
Cover something with tinfoil.
Right. That's funny. Never thought of that. All right, let's cycle the power on the quad real quick. And all right, so we're gonna do this with the antenna on. Again, we are on 500 hertz, 25 milliwatts. I don't even know if this quad, and so yeah, look, 9. See, the 9 designates that we're on 500 hertz. If that's a 7, you're on 250 hertz. But see, the 100 is the number that matters. And so transmitter right next to quad, we've got a signal to noise ratio of 9 or 10, and the RSSI is 99. Let's watch what happens when we fly away. And we'll see how these numbers kind of dance around and which ones move around. So, look at the RSSI already going down into the 80s. It's kind of what I like. What am I doing? I'm looking at the numbers, not at where I'm going. It's kind of one of the things that I like about RSSI is that it moves around. Like with LQ, it just stays buried at 100 a lot of the time. All right.
Getting some 97s.
And so the signal to noise ratio is coming down. I thought it was coming down. It's still up at 9. I mean, one of the things, oh, look at the RSSI. It's back up to 99. So up here, there we go. So this is where we're going to see things get, yeah, look at the RSSI. See, so the RSSI is like, hey, be careful. And I like that. I don't love the LQ being so high all the time. All right, so I'm going to pull the antenna off. ELRS is just basically too good. So let's pull this antenna off the Naminmo receiver module here. Oh my God. Who tightened this?
Not me.
It wasn't me.
One pair of
I'm not this
pliers.
strong. Holy shit. Oh, the dog. I can see the dog's whiskers. I got it. All right. So, antenna is off. Oh, God. It just fail-safed, I think. Shit. Okay. So, antenna's going back on. I'll fly it downstairs. And then I guess we're going to be fail-safing on the stairs. Okay, so... Oh, boy. Dog's coming. Okay, so now we're going to pull the antenna off. I'm going to hit pitch forward to get that screen out of here. Antenna is off. Oh, boy. Yeah, those numbers came down. Cool. So, SNR... Whoa. What was that about? We were okay for a second. Oh my God. So look how low the signal to noise ratio is, but the link quality is still okay. RSSI is super low. We've got the warning for RSSI. Let's see how far we can get. Oh, the signal to noise ratio just hit 0. Oh, and there goes the link quality. Link quality is coming way down.
Yeah.
RSSI is way down, and it's going to fail safe any second here. Wow, the signal to noise ratio came down to -2. Now it's going to get stronger because now I'm right above myself. Yeah, okay. So now, oh, the battery, shit. Oh my God. Oh God. Wow. Okay. So pulling the whoa, Teddy, Jesus. So pulling the antenna off is absolutely the way to go. All right. So let's try that again. For the record, don't do this. This is not great for the module. It's pulling an antenna off is way worse for the thing that's transmitting, but it's not necessarily great for the thing that's receiving either. Not the end of the world, but still. Okay, so sitting right in front of me, no antenna. I'm kind of impressed that it's maxing out. That's pretty good, but I am like inches away. So across the room, man, look at it drop, just going across the room. So the first warning that we're getting is an LQ warning. And now we're getting the RSSI warning. That's what I'm saying. Like, look at the RSSI is totally working. So it will, there's no way it'll make it up these stairs. Holy hell, it made it up the stairs. Oh, nope. There it is. Okay, so there's the failsafe. I'm going to hold the transmitter above my head. Sometimes that works. No. I'm just going to hold the antenna up to the module, and then we'll get it back. All right, so now we're good. Let's bring it back, and let's watch those numbers dance around again. So I'm going to put it right above myself here. Okay, so antenna's back off. And so that brings SNR down to 5 and 6 and 7. Man, I can't believe... I'm shocked at how good this is with no antenna on 500 hertz and 25 milliwatt. So let's just park it here for a second. Pitch forward. So signal to noise ratio is zeroed. Link quality is still... Man, link quality is moving all around.
Yeah, between 50 and 80.
50s all the way up to 80s. I'm trying my best to hold... All right, so I'm going to put the transmitter vertically on the desk in front of me, and I'm not going to move it at all. So signal to noise ratio went up quite a bit. RSSI is still down in the 30s. Look at the LQ going up. I do not have dynamic power on. Dynamic power will make these numbers go all over the place. I just picked the transmitter up and put it on my lap, and now the numbers went down significantly. Let's go up here, but not quite into the bathroom. And let's drop it right here. Pitch forward. Oh, nope, it fail-safed. Okay. I think it was when I yawed it around that it went into fail-safe. All right, so antenna's back on. Antenna's back off. Hold on. Antenna's back on. And so let me just yaw it back around like this, and now I think I can pull the antenna off. Pitch forward. Okay, so RSSI is down at 0. Man, when I put the transmitter flat on my lap... Nope. A second ago, when I put the transmitter flat on my lap, it zeroed out. So it would appear that the signal-to-noise ratio will go all the way down to -30, because that's where it's at now. And then obviously the link quality and the RSSI will go down to 0. I just put the antenna back in. Let me leave the antenna on, and we'll go into this bathroom real quick here. For the record, this thing feels like shit when these numbers go down this low. Like it's pretty hard to fly up here. So even with the antennas on, oh wow, I just lost video. No, there we go. It just came back. Even with the antenna on the transmitter, it's struggling in this. Well, it's not struggling that bad though. The RSSI is really low though. RSSI down in the 30s and 40s. Signal to noise ratio bouncing around 6.7, 6.7. I said 6.7. Oops. But the link quality. Look at the link quality. It's like way up there. All right.
High.
Hold on. So let's put it Where can we go? Well, let's change the battery. That's what we're going to do. Let me in! What is happening? All right. Somebody in chat rightfully talking about missing packets. Right. That's why it's feeling bad. Because the receiver is transmitting what I'm telling it to, but then they're not getting there. So like I'll move the sticks, it'll miss a bunch of packets, and then it basically shows up as latency is the easiest way to think about it. So I'm pulling the antenna off. And so now here we go again. RSSI all the way down into the 30s. SNR all the way down to 3 and 4. But look at the link quality. The link quality is like really strong. Although it's when the link quality goes below 70, that's when it's like panic time. But man, like the LQ, it moves around so much. It goes all the way up to 100 and then all the way back down. And now it's sitting there in the 90s. The RSSI is super low.
Oh, okay.
You going to sleep, Maggie? Oh, okay.
Maggie's going to sleep. Mama Ciotti is tired. Papa Ciotti's getting old.
Wow, this is hard to fly like this.
Good night, gangly gang. I'm going home.
I'm coming down the stairs.
See you tomorrow.
Okay.
Good night. I will see you tomorrow.
Okay.
We'll coordinate what we. Oh
God. Jesus Christ. Teddy! Teddy, don't eat it!
Relax, Teddy. Hey. Teddy.
Oh my God, he's beside himself. It's like trying to reason with a terrorist. Get it!
No, he's not going to hurt it. It's going to hurt him. And then he'll know.
No, it's gotten hung up in his beard before. He doesn't care.
Oh.
He just laughs. Relax, doggy.
This was great, Aaron.
Hold on. Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Keep
Thanks
streaming.
for hanging.
Keep streaming. We're fine.
All right.
We'll see you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow. Love you.
Love you, Aaron.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So link quality is volatile as shit. It might be. I think it's just because, it's kind of like a narrow range, right, between like 100 and 70. But I'm shocked at how much it's moving around, and like I park it here. And it goes all the way up to 100 sometimes. Like, what is that about? The SNR seems like it's a much better indicator, right? Like it's sitting at -1 now, 0. It's not moving around as much as the link quality is. This goddamn dog. What has gotten into this dog, man? He's crazy. I'll fly up above myself here. We'll see the numbers come up a little bit. SNR up at 5 and 6 and 5 and 4. Yeah, okay. So I'm damn. Okay. To be honest, the RSSI is doing a really good job, in my opinion. Like it gives me 100 when I'm really close to myself, and then it drops down significantly when I move out, and then it seems to be pretty accurate, you know, like 24. It's like as I go farther, it drops down. It's not like wobbling all over the place like the ooh, there was a failsafe. It's not wobbling all over the place like the link quality is, but the signal to noise ratio is very similar to the RSSI. Like it's moving around, right? 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 2, 3. Ooh, wow. Why is it so bad right here? Whoa! Another failsafe. All right, hold on. Dog is just loving this. That's interesting. That's not super far away. This is me putting the antenna back on, just to get out of there. And now, oh, battery's done. Oh my god. Oh my god. Woo! Okay. Let me take a break and read the chat. I'm so fucking glad I'm doing this. RSSI is working great, right? Like, I think the only problem with RSSI is that it goes from like 100 to 40, like, across the room. And so, like, yeah, it's nice that it has a huge range, but it's just got in the same way that like link quality only really uses between 170. RSSI, it just dumps down to like the 30s and the 40s right away, and then it drops from there. I almost wish that the SNR, they would just put another number there. You know, like the SNR, it's kind of like it only uses 0 to 10. So like if you're at a 4, you're like, well, am I at the top of the 4 or am I at the bottom of the 4? And then 3. But it certainly seems like SNR is the one to use. Which, you know, go figure. Joshua was right. But yeah, that's pretty slick to watch them move around. Let me ooh, you know what? Let's do this. Let's go to 250 hertz and see how much of a difference there is. I prefer 250 because the latency is still very low, but the range is noticeably better. Antenna is on. I'm going to take the antenna off. Kevin Sumner says, are you aware of the talking in a noisy room analogy for RSSI? Yeah. That's the best analogy I've ever heard of, right? So, if you're in a really noisy room and you scream really loud, you can still be heard, right? And so that would be like if you're in a really noisy RF environment, but then you go up to like a watt, right? You go up to a watt, it's screaming really loudly, and it's screaming loud enough to drown out the noisy RF environment, right? In the house here, this is not a very bad RF environment, especially up on race 8, away from the Wi-Fi. And so in this house, I can get away with 25 milliwatts, right? If I turn this up to 1 watt, even without the antenna, it would probably be completely fine. But yeah, let me not let this sit here with the antenna off. Actually, I'm dumb. I got this backwards. It is really bad that I'm running this without the antenna because this is this is sending the signal. I was thinking of the VTX. On your goggles, it's no big deal to take your antennas off because this is just a receiver. But this is the transmitter. So I'm beating the shit out of this thing right now. But for science, CiottiFPV says RSSI is raw signal strength. Is it really? I thought it all somehow factored in the noise floor. Lower packet rates in ELRS have more redundancy and make interference hurt RSSI before it affects link quality. You'll see RSSI drop significantly before link quality dips. That's definitely what we're seeing. We're seeing RSSI drop. Well, and I guess that, yeah, you know, that does make sense because the radio frequencies function off of the inverse square law, I believe, right? And so, like, going, like, the first bunch of distance that you travel, it's going to drop significantly, and then as you go farther and farther, it won't drop nearly as much. It's sort of the way that light works. Like, light, never mind, don't get me on a photography rant. Uriel says, I asked your dad something about the genes and his family about caring. Did he say his nephews? If I was correct, no need for direct answer, give me a hint later. I'm not sure what that means. Cole FPV says, technically anything less than 100 LQ should be micro failsafing. It will feel sloppy because it just holds the same input during missed packets. Yeah, but it's happening at 500 hertz is 500 times a second. So yeah, even a missed packet is just that little fraction of a second. Kevin Summer says, also everybody should go read and a link to Express LRS. I'm actually going to hit that link. It looks like it's just a link to their to the signal health part of their website. Very, very cool. And this isn't too bad. We should all read this whole thing. I'm going to read this after the live stream. A lot of times, signal strength stuff, it's 50 pages of nonsense, and I just don't have it in me. But this ain't bad. Kevin Sumner says, the problem with RSSI is if you get into a radio loud environment, like a race or lots of 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, RSSI will be high, but RSNR and LQ will be low. See, I've always seen them both go down, and so the biggest test of this that I have every year are the cycling events, when they've got wireless mics and wireless cameras, and there's 1,000 people with cell phones banging away, and there's high tension power lines, and there's cell towers, and there's all kinds of shit. And like all the time, the RSSI and the LQ go up and down in tandem. Although that's with me not having not spending the time to like get a better understanding of it. So now next time I do one of those events, I'll be able to actually be way more educated about that. Off Axis says probably gets low around your Wi-Fi router and high powered electronics. No, it's getting bad around the bathrooms, maybe like the tiles and the shit like that. A bunch of copper pipes maybe going in there. I'm not sure, but the Wi-Fi router is over here, and there's nothing really else super electronic. Kevin Sumner says yes. Light is also inverse square law, same as RF. All right, cool. Let's do another battery and just take another quick look. Did I run this battery? I think I did. This is cool. I was really hoping that we would be able to get RSSI to be high, but link quality would be low. But we're getting the opposite of that, which is cool. We're getting the RSSI to drop really low, and the link quality is still really high. That's pretty cool. Now we're on 250 hertz, and I'm going to beat on this poor little Niminmo a little bit more here with no antenna. I should be okay because I only have the... Jeremy says QX7 Max 400K baud. No, when you got to put the you solder in a little chip and it fixes that. I forget what I was just saying. Look. See, now we've got a 7. 7 is for 250 hertz. All right, so here comes the antenna. Oh yeah, what I was about to say. This Niminmo is probably going to be fine because I have this turned down to 25 milliwatts. 25 million watts. I'm trying to leave this buried on my stomach. Now we've got RSNR of 11. That's pretty interesting. Holy shit. This should be better, not worse. Oh, there was a nasty failsafe there. Why is it worse on 250? This is worse on 250. That should not be... Nah, I guess maybe it's the same? Well, let's go right over here where it failsafe last time. Okay, no, it is better then. Oh, nope. Little mini failsafe. It seemed like it was worse going up the stairs. Look at it. It's like the signal to noise ratio is just zeroed going through there. Does it get really bad next to this thing? This is our air purifier. It does. Look at it get really bad next to the air purifier. So the RSSI is down in the teens. Ooh, boy, it has a hard time right through there. So now I'm getting a lot closer to myself. I'm right above myself now, pretty much. So here's the Wi-Fi router. Wi-Fi router is right in here. Oh, you know what? I bet you there's a slab of concrete here in front of the... Yeah, look at it get real bad there. So it's got Wi-Fi router and this slab here. But look at the LQ. The LQ is still up in the 90s. I am not impressed with the LQ. The LQ is just moving all over the goddamn place. The SNR seems to be much more sort of stable, I guess we could say. And I mean, the RSSI, I feel like the RSSI is still important to have. Because it feels pretty goddamn accurate. Jesus, it is hard to fly it when it's like this. Jesus Christ. Oh, and it went into failsafe. Hold on. Let me put the antenna back on here. All right, now it'll be out of failsafe. And, oops, nope, we want this. Oh God, I don't know if I'm gonna get out of here. Shit, I'm in the shoe basket right now. Shit. Oh, almost. Nope. Let me go get it. Hold on. Be right back. Oh, God, he's trying to eat it all night. Why is this dog so bad? Damn, dude. This is cool. This is really, really cool. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about the LQ moving all around like that? Like, I don't have a problem with it moving around. I have a problem with it going from like 100 down to 60, back up to 90. Like, it's... I wonder if that's just because we're inside. I wonder if doing this outside... Look at the LQ all the way up to 99. What is the deal with... Oh, shit. Battery. What is the deal with the LQ being like 99 when the RSNR is all the way down at like 3? Does anybody understand that? I don't quite get that. How can it be doing that? One more battery. This is pretty cool. All right, last one. So, sitting right in front of me. Look at the RSSI all the way down at 89. Sitting right in front of me. Link quality and signal to noise are maxed. Wow, look how bad it gets just going out here. See, but look at the signal to noise is all the way down at -3, but then the link quality is, well, a second ago the link quality was, there it is, it's bouncing up into the 80s. 80s into the 70s, 80s, 70s, down I saw a 69. And the RSSI is super low. Yeah, I don't know why the LQ is all over the shop like that. That seems weird to me. All right, let's park it here. So the LQ is damn near maxed. SNR is down at 3, 4, 5, 4. And the RSSI is triggering the warning down in the 30s. The LQ is really high, though. Let's park it halfway up the stairs. See what we get. All right. Signal to noise is just tanking. Link quality is pretty low, too. 50s, 60s. Anything below 70 is panic. But, like, look at the LQ bouncing on, showing, like, that 80. It keeps bouncing up into the 80s. 90 I just saw. RSSI is super low. All right, let's fail-safe it in here. Here we go. Ready? Actually, I'm going to put it right here in the doorway. Oh. There it is. Well, all right. I just picked the transmitter up off my lap a little bit. And now we got a little bit left. We got it back up here. Okay. Link quality is pretty accurate right now. 30s, 40s, 50s, 30s, 40s, 50s. -3 on the signal to noise. It also struggles right up here. Let's park it. Wow, really? Look at the signal to noise. Look how low that is. But then the link quality is up 80s, 70s, 80s, all the way down into the 40s. Down into the 20. Wow. It's all over the place. Crazy. Can I fly it like this? Let's see. Oh, for fuck's sake. I can't watch it while I'm freestyling it, but you guys can. Tell me if you learn anything. It doesn't feel very good. It feels, I mean, it's not as bad as upstairs, but it's noticeably worse than normal. Flying it with no antenna on the receiver module. Go figure. Whew. Still do some shit though. Hey. All right, that's good. Damn. Okay. Let me get an antenna back on this Neminmo so that it doesn't melt down into the goddamn ground. That's pretty interesting. What did you guys see when I was freestyling? Anything interesting? Anything that you didn't expect? Jesus, yo, I need to be using signal to noise ratio. That is really solid. That is a really solid number that doesn't jitter and doesn't bounce so much. Good to know that it goes down to the negatives too, but I feel like with the signal to noise ratio, once that hits 0, it's like turn the fuck around, which is great. You know, that's like a really nice range that like anybody can use. You know what I mean? 10 full strength, 0 get the hell back. And it's you know, it's letting you know how much of the signal is actually getting through, right? So in the noisy room analogy, signal to noise ratio at a 10 or even an 11 is a quiet room and we're shouting. So it's clear as day. You start to fly away, you get into either a situation. Okay, so in our case here, I don't think that there's a lot of I don't think the noise floor is very high in this house. There's that one Wi-Fi router. We're not seeing anything crazy when I park it right in front of it. And so this house has a pretty low noise floor. So we fly up the stairs. We get into like, I guess at the top of the stairs, there's a bunch of layers of something between. It's the main beam of the house. That's what it is. The main beam of the house runs right here. The top of the stairs is right there. So the main beam of the house is right in between me and the top of the stairs. So at the top of the stairs, the noise floor is still low, but the signal coming from the transmitter is not punching through the main beam of the house really well. So we're whispering. The noise floor is very, very low, but we're also whispering. The quad is only hearing a whisper, right? The transmitter is still yelling, but it's not penetrating through, and that's killing the volume. It's bringing the volume down. So the quad is just hearing a little whisper, but it's still getting a whisper. When I keep going that way to that bathroom, then it's imperceptible. Super interesting. All right. Let me see what you guys are saying here in the chat. Cole says, I have a QX7S, same thing as CiottiFPV, but I've broken almost every one of the switches and resoldered gimbal leads. Yeah, QX7s are so old that a lot of times they're beat up by now. Kevin Sumner says, electric AC motors put off tons of RF noise, air purifiers, bathroom fans. It's interesting you say air purifiers. We did see some nonsense when I was right in front of that air purifier. Bathroom fans, none of those are on at the moment. Yeah, also, like, everything in this house is kind of off right now, right? Like, all the bathroom fans are off. The heat is even off, so that the HVAC unit is on the other side of the wall over here from me. Kevin Summer says, walk of shame, shame, shame. Render says, I think the LQ should jump between 90 and 100 when doing freestyle because of the nulls and radiation pattern of the little antenna. I see that on my 5-inch even. I can see that, but what's wild about the LQ is that it's bouncing up and down like 30, 40, like a factor of like 30 or 40 numbers when the damn thing is just sitting there, right? Like, it's just sitting on the stairs. I'm holding the transmitter on my lap stationary, and it's just like, what is happening there? That feels really weird to me. Nardo Polo correctly says, I think LQ is 100 if 100% of the packets are successful, regardless of RSSI. Absolutely. Kevin Sumner says, here we go. LQ being high, while the signal to noise ratio is low, is the chirps doing their magic. I have to read more about the chirps. Render says, I use RSSI DBM more. It's an actual single readout. Got that habit from the ELRS devs when I troubleshot whoops before. Yeah, RSSI DBM is great for troubleshooting. But if somebody earlier on said that RSSI is just a measure of the signal strength, if that's the case, then RSSI and RSSI DBM are basically the same exact thing. It's just giving you that signal strength. Cole says, I'm guessing the signal to noise ratio is affected by both the signal strength and the noise floor. Absolutely. Changing as you fly around. Weak signal with no noise is the same as strong signal next to interference. Right. Weak signal, no noise. Yep. Nyafu says, do you use stop motors on low throttle on your whoops? I use motor stop on disarm, which I didn't realize was only for wings. I should start turning that off. I started turning it on my bigger stuff, thinking like, God forbid something bad happens when I disarm. I want the props to stop right away, like I'm stuck in somebody's hair. And then I just started putting it on everything. I've never had a problem with it that I know of. Jeremy says, what baud do you have your radio set at? So we initially did it on 500, and then we moved it down to 250. It didn't seem to perform any better on 250. Maybe just the tiniest little bit better, but yeah, it seemed pretty similar between the two. It's on 25 milliwatts for both for this whole time. Kevin Sumner says, you can also ignore the second digit of LQ and get a similar feeling to the single digit of SNR. It still feels like the LQ was bouncing more, isn't it? Kevin says, summary of that Signal Health article that I linked is that LQ and signal to noise ratio are both things to have in the OSD and pay attention to, for sure. The little here, let me repost Joshua's video because, well, it's a clip from his live stream, but it's just awesome. It's 6 minutes long. It's gonna tell you pretty much everything that we just sort of went over here. Other than I'm still confused as to why link quality is bouncing so much. But we're seeing link quality bouncing a lot when it gets really low. And when link quality gets below 70, that's when like you want to start coming back. And so maybe that's it. Maybe like we're just pushing the limit. You know, we're flying like when in each of those spots that I'm parking at, top of the stairs, middle of the second stairwell, in the bathroom. It's like it's bordering on failsafe. And so maybe that's it. Maybe it's just catching like weird bounces and it's getting like a nice strong bounce from some crazy angle. And that's when we're seeing it go all the way up to 90. But you know, it is tending to hover in that like way below 70 range. So maybe we're just pushing it way too far. But all that being said, the SNR is the rock star for me. Although I'm also blown away at how good the RSSI works still. Every time it failsafe, the RSSI zeroed, right? Like, and so I feel like using RSSI is still totally fine, but holy hell, we should all be using SNR for sure. I don't think that we should have LQ, SNR, RSSI, and RSSI DBM. That's a lot, right? Like you don't want to spend that much time looking at numbers in your OSD. Joshua and that article, like Kevin is saying, LQ, signal to noise ratio. Those are the two. And you know, if the signal to noise ratio is going to be pretty stable like it is, and then the link quality is going to kind of move around, that's not a bad thing, I don't think. If you want like a solid easy number, you look at the signal to noise. If you want a little bit more data, you look at the link quality, and if it's bouncing up and down from like 80 to 90, you're good. If it's bouncing up and down from 60 to 80, the average is 70, right? Like you can look at it for a second and kind of average it out. So, you know, maybe that's like weirdly on purpose. Maybe they have the maybe they have the refresh rate of the link quality set really high. It does seem like it's changing numbers very quickly, and then that SNR is not refreshing quite as quick. And so maybe that's the sort of philosophy behind that. But yeah, pretty cool. If you've got RSSI, and if you've only got RSSI in your OSD, you're kind of fine, but add SNR for sure. Add link quality too. But man, SNR, now I got to go through and put RSNR in everything. Jesus. Whoopfox says, about to snag a baby turtle, what thickness would you get the bottom plate in? Get it in the thickest, because it's a single piece bottom plate, and so you don't want to break it, because if you break it, you have to pull a million screws off, and it's just obnoxious. And you know, they're gonna fly better when they're like, look, with an open prop rig like this, you want the momentum, you want the mass. We have plenty of motors available and props available that'll make good power, so you might as well get a nice beefy base plate. It's also going to make it easier to tune. So yeah, in my opinion, get the thickest base plate. That's what I did, is I got the thickest base plates, and I'm super happy with them. I don't think you should, I mean, like, don't make it needlessly heavy, right, with giant chunks of TPU, but also don't worry, like, like we do with tiny whoops about keeping it as light as possible. It's going to be slidey. That's sort of the whole point of something like that, is that you've got that slide, you've got that momentum. Kevin Sumner says, what is a good RSSI? And RSSI dBm will vary based on where you're flying. That's one of the reasons why it's the least preferred value. Hold on. Where is... Does ELRS talk about RSSI at all? Yeah, so here's the test. So here's the bench test that they're talking about. I'm curious, though, if... I want to confirm that RSSI is just the straight signal strength. I know RSSI dBm is. You know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. LQ and RSNR. There's, like, if you're being stubborn and you already have RSSI and you don't want to remove it, fine. That you do you. It's not bad, but it's not as good. And so, yeah. Remove RSSI and replace it with signal to noise ratio, which is RSNR in there. I don't see any reason to not do that. For me, what I've been able to previously do is basically, like, with RSSI and link quality. When I was in a really noisy RF environment, the RSSI would be lower. And so, like, I would be able to tell how bad the noise floor was by the RSSI. Now I'm going to be able to do that by the signal to noise ratio. And it sounds like it's just going to be more accurate in doing so. Nyafu says, I swapped my 65mm whoop to a Super X V2, previously the Air 5-in-1, and my flight time dropped to 1:40. All up weight is 15.5 grams. My ESC is 96 kilohertz, so I'm very worried. Get off of 96 kilohertz. It's bad. Put it onto 48. What was your flight time before? El Chingon says, did I hear you say that you have your Meteor 75 Pro on the Air 75 2 frame Gep RC motors? I'm looking to make some changes to my 75 Pro. Yes, there's a bunch of live streams surrounding that from last week. So there you go. Ultimate Meteor 7504. That's one. And then, oh wait, no. Hold on. So yeah, Ultimate Meteor 75, and then where's the other one? There you go. Meteor 75 Pro 04. Although I think this is before I changed the motors out. It's gonna mainly be in this live stream here. Didn't I? I thought I did another live stream about that, didn't I? I think I talked about it in this one, in comparing footage. I think I talked about it in this one. Yeah, this is where I did the initial build of the Pro. I might talk about. Yeah, I'm not sure. Regardless, this is the live stream to watch right here. Nyafu says, I'm using the super inefficient VCI motors. So it was only 250 to 310. Jesus. Oh. Okay, you're using the VCI motors now. Okay, yeah. I caught up on the chat? I think I'm caught up on the chat. Well, shit. That was pretty slick. That was pretty slick. I've got a bunch of work to do. Moving a bunch of these rigs over to the signal noise ratio. But I'm really glad to kind of dive into that. Hold on. Last thing. RSSI stands for Received Signal Strength Indicator. So it is. It is just showing the strength of the signal that it's getting, just like RSSI DBM. Okay. Here we go. Oscar Liang's got an article. Of course he does. See what he has to say. What is RSSI? Raw Signal Strength Indicator. Strength of the received signal. Okay. Fair enough. Here's a question. How does LQ differ from SNR? I know that link quality is like how many packets are getting through, but that's kind of the same thing as the signal to noise ratio, isn't it? Like, I would almost... You know, I guess that's why the LQ is moving around so much. Is because it's just showing us the actual packets. And so every single little change, it's going to like get packets, not get packets. They're going to come in garbled. They're going to be mangled. Kevin Sumner says LQ tells you how many packets are mangled versus well-formed. There we go. SNR just says how loud the packets are compared to the noise floor. Okay. Yeah, I guess the SNR can easily take the place of... I feel a little weird, because I've just used RSSI for 10 years, right? It feels weird to turn it off. Like, I've gotten so accustomed to having it there that it feels weird to get away from it. But I don't want 3 numbers in there. I don't want that much dancing around down there. And to be honest, now that I really kind of think through it, the strength, how loud the signal is, kind of doesn't matter if there's a bunch of garbage, right? Like, if the noise floor is really nasty and the signal's coming in loud, like, that's fine. If the noise floor is really quiet and it's coming in loud, you know, like, it doesn't matter how loud the signal is, other than in the case where you have a bad antenna. That's where the RSSI is going to... And that's one of the ways that I've been able to tell when I've had a bad antenna, is I plug a rig in, I go to take off, and the RSSI is not in the 80s or 90s. It's down in the 30s. It's like, okay, something bad is going on. But in that case, the signal-to-noise ratio is not going to be 10, right? The signal-to-noise ratio is going to be 3 or 4 or 5, and I'm going to go, oh, shit, okay. So, yeah. That feels better. I just had to kind of talk myself into that. Cole FPV says, LQ is percent of packets that were successfully received. Limit is 100. There's no limit to SNR. Oh, interesting. There's no limit to SNR. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Because if you just keep... Here's an example of that. I'm glad that you said that, because watch this. Let me cycle the power on this. We can prove that. Watch this. So we are on 25 milliwatts right now. Transmitter power. Let's go up to 250. Didn't go up very much. Let's go up to 500. It went up a little bit, I guess. It's because I'm sitting right next to myself. Where the hell? There it is. Go back down to 250. Probably don't even need to be at 250. But there we go. So it looks like it kind of wants to max out at 12. I mean, I'm like absolutely right next to it. So I guess there kind of is a limit. Sort of. I wonder if I went up to 1.121 gigawatts, what would happen? Nyafu says, nope, same motors as before with the newbie drone, 30,000 personal go-to. I was getting almost 5 minutes. Interesting. Well, I mean, the different AIOs are going to have different gyros, potentially, different amounts of filtering, different amounts of capacitance, which is basically the filtering. Kevin Summer says, you need to reconnect the receiver in order for the hertz to change to get picked up. It just stayed in mode 7. That's okay. I didn't change the refresh rate. I changed the power output. But it did go from 11 to 12, so there was a change when I went from 25 milliwatts up to was it 250? I guess, and went from 11 to 12. Well, cool. That was fun. We don't usually do shit like that. We should probably do stuff like that more often because it's cool. You know, it's one thing to kind of like talk about that stuff and to like understand it and it's great to like know how it actually works, but to see these numbers kind of moving around, I don't know, for some reason that just like connects better with my brain. That was cool. I'll see you guys on I'm pretty sure I'll see you on Friday at 7 o'clock. There's a chance that I won't. I'll post it on the Discord and the Patreon though, but I'm pretty sure that I'll see you again Friday at 7 o'clock. If you're watching this after the fact, leave a comment. Head on over to CiottiFPV.com and support me. We'll test more shit together. Join my Patreon. Click all the buttons on CiottiFPV.com. Thanks for hanging, friends. Here comes some more flying of the Avata-killer at Patrick Spot. Be good, friends. I'll see you Friday. What is happening here? Oh, there it goes.
Yeah. Out in the yard where the grass grows wild, CiottiFPV's goggles locked, grinning like a child. Teddy spaghetti's, fur flies, and jet wash dreams. Yeah. Chasing small whoops like a dog possessed fiend. Eyes on a neon blur, hard in the chase. Big fuzz and prop spin, all tangled in place. Yeah. Four-legged rebel with a rotor stir tail in the circus of the sky. They never fail. CiottiFPV, Teddy Spaghetti, dynamic duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed. They zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah. Sighties on sticks, Teddy's on paws, side by side legends breaking all the laws. Through the kitchen over couch scale terrain, backyard mayhem in their flight domain. No ground too sacred, no loop too tight. Fuzz fuel fury ignites the night. When pilot and pup lock eyes on the prize, every whoop they conquer is a fresh cut surprise. Yeah. Yo, Saudi behind the sticks, Teddy's leading the pack. Prop guard missiles unleashed, never looking back. No leash, no map, just freestyle Mike. They on the dog drone streets every day and night. Said whoops, hitting low, gotta nail the dive. Teddy push throttle up, feel the beast come alive. I see the neon arc got the sticks locked in, Teddy. Yeah, let's rip this loop, ride the roar of the wind, Teddy. Yep, yeah. CiottiFPV, yeah. Teddy Spaghetti, diamond and duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Teddy Spaghetti, Teddy and duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah, when you hear that bar cut the rotor hum, you know Ciotti and Teddy's mission's just begun. FPV's fur-faced legends singing loud. Yeah, Teddy Spaghetti and CiottiFPV always proud.